So today I am making one-of-a-kind peaches. I've never made this recipe before. They have all sorts of suggestions like mint, thyme, sage, tarragon, cinnamon, ginger root. I have never made it before, so I'm gonna do 1 jar of ginger, 1 jar of peppermint, and 1 jar with a cinnamon stick. See what we like best, and then maybe I'll do more of each next year, but I don't want to add something to a jar of peaches that I'm not necessarily gonna like. So I've got all my peaches washed up. I've got all of my equipment, ingredients, everything prepped. So my jars are my lids and my rings, everything for filling jars, the stuff for the syrup. So it's just water and sugar. I've got my water boiling here to blanch and peel the peaches. And then I'll be pitting them and cutting them and putting them into a citric acid soak. This recipe does say to use Fresh Fruit Protector, which is Bernardin's own fruit treatment for prevention of discoloration, but I couldn't find it. I don't have it. Citric acid does the same thing. So that's what I'm going to use because I have lots of that. Yeah, so I will video that as I go along. Peaches are going into boiling water for 30 to 60 seconds to help the skin slip off easier. They'll be going into an ice bath, and then out of the ice bath I take them out, I slip the skins off, and I am quartering them and putting them into the citric acid soak to help prevent discoloration of the fruit prior to processing. Right now I'm just waiting for my quartered peaches to finish soaking in the citric acid bath. They need to soak for 10 minutes in order to help prevent discoloration. While I'm waiting for that, I've gone ahead and I've washed up all my dishes. I have my colander all ready for when it's time to strain the peaches. I have gone ahead and set up my workstations. So I have my sugar, water, and my pot all ready for making up the syrup and simmering the peaches in the syrup. And then my jars are simmering in hot water, ready for when it's time to get filled. Then this is my little station where I will be filling all my jars. So I've got my rings, my lids, my ginger, cinnamon, and peppermint. As I mentioned earlier, I'm doing 1 jar of each just to see which flavor is my favorite, and everything I need for filling the jars. Now we're just waiting. Now that my peaches have finished soaking in citric acid, I've drained them, and we are going to go ahead and get the syrup started and begin filling jars. This step is pretty simple. All I'm doing is adding water and sugar into a pot, mixing the sugar until it's completely dissolved into the water and bringing it to a boil to make a light syrup for the peaches. The quartered peaches, once drained, will be added to this syrup. I had a visitor, so I missed that last step where I added the peaches into the syrup. So I simmered the peaches in the syrup just for a minute and then removed from heat. Now what you're seeing is me adding the quartered peaches into my jars, cut side down, and then topping it up with the light syrup. I will be debubbling the jar and then bringing it up to required head space for processing. And then I will be adding my lid and rings just until they're fingertip tight and adding them into my water bath canner for processing. It is important to fill your jars one at a time. Do not stage them. Now that all my jars are filled, I'm saving my last bit of syrup, and I use that for drinks usually. Here you'll see me adding hot water into the pot. I want to make sure that the water is at least 1 to 2 inches above the lids of the jars to ensure proper processing. I'll add the lid to the pot and then turn the temperature of my stove up to high and wait for it to come to a roiling boil before I start my processing time. You'll see here all the steam coming out from the pot. That is a roiling boil. So from there, I start my timer and wait. So my 15-minute timer is up. I've removed the lid, turned the element off, and I'm just gonna let it cool for about 5 minutes. That helps prevent siphoning once you remove your jars from the canner. And then they'll rest for about 24 hours. So here is my finished batch of peaches. I've got plain, cinnamon, ginger, and mint, just to see which one's my favorite, and if I have a preference, I will do them all like that next year. We have a huge tree, so there's always options. Now they will go away for storage.